Hello and welcome to the darkened room of music conversation.
I'm Darren.
And I'm Chris.
And today we're going to talk about songs that stopped us in our tracks.
Right.
These are songs that, and everybody can identify with this. The first time you heard it, you're just like, oh my God, where has this been all my life?
Right. Yeah.
or maybe it was a lyric, that got to you, or maybe it was just the sound of the song or the atmosphere that you were in.
Yeah.
Maybe you were scoring with a chick. No, I'm just kidding. Who knows? Many reasons to have a song like this on your list.
Right.
But I just thought this would be a fun little topic that everybody could relate to.
Totally, yeah.
All right, so I'm going to get us started with this.
All right, go right ahead.
All right, so this is a song that I heard, I guess I was a young teenager, and I just remember thinking, this is one of the most unique songs I've ever heard in my life. And to this day, I love, just from start to finish, my love for it has never waned. I love it just as much as I did back in 1983. And I'm talking about Genesis and the song Mama.
Yes,
it was like
nice.
Nothing I'd ever heard before.
Yeah.
And it just blew me away.
Yeah, it creeped me out.
Well, yeah, it's fun. There is that element to it that just sounds so creepy.
Yeah, but that's what draws you in.
Yeah, the laugh,
exactly
and
right.
all that.
Yeah.
But just all the keyboards and stuff are so atmospheric and so much happening in that song that and you listen to that song now and it's still interesting to listen to.
Yeah.
You hear things you've never noticed.
So do you remember where you were and what you were doing when you heard it the first time?
I do. I was at a friend's house, and he had the album. Of course, the big single was That's All.
Right,
and he was like, man, you got to hear this other song. This song is a trip. And so he played it for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, man, I've got to own that.
Right, yeah.
But it blew me away.
Very cool. Great choice, man.
Thank you very much.
All right, so I guess the one that I'll start with is from recent times. Outside of my regular day job, I do a little Uber driving on the weekends. And a group of passengers got into my car and wanted to plug into the aux cord, which is, in some ways is kind of annoying, but but they actually played something that I was like, whoa, I love this. And I didn't want them to get out of the car before the song had ended. It was actually Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars.
Wow, that's a great song.
It is a great
Fantastic song. That dude has got so much talent.
Yeah, I loved the throwback sound to it. I'm like, this is going to be a major hit because I hadn't heard it at that point.
Yeah.
So they actually turned me on to something new.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, now the next one, I have a feeling it's going to be on your list too because we discovered it around the same time.
Okay, yeah.
Angie Aparo, Spaceship.
Yes.
I tell you, the first time I heard that song, you had played it for me, and you were already in love with the song.
Right.
And it was on that sampler CD that we had.
That's right, the promo only,
Promo only. We were doing college radio at the time, so we had subscribed to this service that we kind of shared called Promo Only. And that song was on there, Spaceship by Angie Aparo. And you would always get it first because it would come. We were roommates at the time, and it would come in the mail, and he would listen to it and go, hey, this song's great, or this song sucks, or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, you got to hear this song.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I loved it the first time. I still love it.
Yeah, I remember that I would always take those discs in to work, which we were doing the secondhand CD store thing, and I popped it in. It was like track 11 or something like that on there, and I was putting away like new arrivals, and I almost dropped them when I heard that chorus kick in.
Yeah, it's magnificent.
I was like, I had to run back to the counter to get the label. I'm like, what is this?
So that made your list too?
It totally did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you can go on to your next one.
Okay.
Right.
The next one for me was around the same time, maybe a year or two before that. New Radicals, You Get What You Give.
Really?
Yeah. The first time I heard that song, I'm like, I knew I would love the band. I mean, I'm like, this has all the elements that I love, pretty clever lyrics. I like the mix of keyboards and edgy guitar. Thought his voice was very sincere, and it goes in and out of minor and major keys. I love that. So yeah, man, that song, just the second I heard it, I absolutely loved it, and I was like, wow, I'm gonna own this. I love this.
Yeah. So a song that I remember that had a major impact on me, and I was like, you played it for me, and I said, we were doing our radio show then. I'm like, we need to be playing the F out of this. You probably know what I'm talking about.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Dream Theater's Pull Me Under had that kind of impact on me. I thought it was just amazing. I loved the mixture of the heavy and the classic rock and the keyboard and the guitars and this is incredible. It blew my mind.
At the time, I was like, man, this is like Rush on steroids.
Yeah.
with a more honestly accomplished singer. He could do a lot more with his voice than Geddy, and I love Geddy.
Totally, yeah.
But cool, good choice. All right, up next for me is another song I heard as a teenager. I would say this one around 1985 or so, and I kept hearing this term that I wasn't familiar with at the time. Back then I was just a pop music junkie pretty much.
Yeah.
And I had this friend that I went to school with. His name was Shane. I remember that. And he was telling me all about how great new wave music was. And he would be like, "This is new wave. This is new wave," and I'd be like, "I mean, I hear it on the radio. I think it's good or whatever."
Yeah.
But I heard a song by U2, "Pride in the Name of Love," and that song just blew me away, man. I was like, to this day, when I hear it now, I just turn it and crank it all the way up.
Yeah.
I think the edge guitar part was so influential on music.
Yeah.
He may be one of the most emulated guitar players. It doesn't get the credit for it.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, and he's not like he is a virtuoso because what he does is very unique, and I love the Edge's guitar playing. But that song, and you know what, it's about the MLK thing and all that. Yeah. It's just a beautiful song, and one that I just related to musically, lyrically, everything, and I still just absolutely love it.
Yeah. It's funny, I don't have any 80s songs on my list.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing that video at first. I was in a weird place with my music taste back then. When I was watching MTV, it's like I wanted to see the stuff that I was familiar with.
Sure.
So I remember when Pride in the Name of Love, the video first came out, the first 8 times it came on my TV, I switched the channel. Because, I don't know that.
Yeah.
And that happened with so many songs back then.
Right.
Church Under the Milky Way. I did the same thing, too, So
wow,
it's like...
What a great song.
I know. And then eventually I learned, I'm like, hey, maybe I need to start listening to these songs.
Duh!
Yeah. So I learned my lesson. It took a little while, and so there we go.
One thing that I think me and you are pretty different about this is that both of us didn't really care a whole lot about what everybody else was liking or listening to.
Right.
If I liked it even back then, I almost wore it as a badge of honor if I liked something that everybody else hated.
Yeah.
Or couldn't relate to. I'm like, well, that makes it special to me. It's my little group. It's my little song.
Exactly
and,
right.
So I just never cared about those things. Never did.
Yeah. I didn't care that no one had heard of They Might Be Giants. I love them. All right, so I'll go on to my next one. I remember this live concert was being broadcast on PBS during their fundraiser. When they do their fundraisers, they play stuff that draws in like a larger audience. Yeah. So they were playing Sarah McLachlan's Mirror Ball.
Wow.
Now, I was familiar with her stuff, of course, and I had heard Possession, but when I heard the live version on Mirror Ball, I was doing something else. I had it on, turned up. I was doing dishes or whatever I may have been doing at the time. Well, when it came on and it got into the song, I dropped what I was doing and walked to the TV and listened, and was just blown away by the live version.
Yeah, it's so odd, too, how popular she was back then.
Yeah.
And it's like she's totally fell off the face of the earth at this stage.
Yeah, she really has.
And she's just a masterful singer, great lyricist, and that song is deep.
It is.
Very deep.
But what I loved about the live version was just how powerful it sounded.
Sure.
Now, I've heard females who love this song. Mm-hmm. They like the original version because it's so mysterious and creepy sounding.
Yeah.
And they think that this one sounds angry.
Right.
But I don't take it as angry. It's just more passionate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's about a stalker type
Yes,
situation.
About a stalker, yeah.
Yeah, cool, man.
So, there you go.
Great choice. All right, well, we're up to, I guess, my number one pick.
Number one, yeah.
And this is a song, I was thinking about this recently, and maybe we'll do an episode about this. We've done, our favorite artists, our favorite albums. Mm-hmm. This would be in my top 5, probably sitting at number 2. Spoiler alert, if we ever do the episode, of my favorite songs of all time. I love it that much. I'll never forget the first time I heard it. And it's actually a pretty clever song. I call it the best pop song that was ever written, and you've probably never heard it. Jellyfish, New Mistake.
Hey.
I think that song is so masterful in every way. And it's basically about a guy and a girl who have this tough relationship, and in the middle of it, they have a kid that maybe they shouldn't have it, and then it's what I really love about it. I'll probably screw the lyrics up, but the twist at the end of the song is that here they are. They got this screwed up life because he's trying to be a pop singer. And then it says later in the song, the baby grew up and married a pop singer. That was her first mistake. And then it's like, it's going to repeat. And he's, and sometimes that's a theme in pop music, country music, anything, that your kids kind of repeat your mistakes.
Right. Very true.
So I just love it.
Okay. Well, I guess my number one is going to be from one of my favorite artists, of course. And I remember being in the car and hearing this on the radio for the first time. Cranked it up as loud as it could go. Wished it went louder. Sat in my car when I got home waiting for the song to finish.
Yeah.
And another mind blown. It was Everlong from the Foo Fighters.
Cool. That is an excellent choice, friend.
Yeah.
That is a good one.
And that hooked me right there on the Foo Fighters. And, of course, seeing them a few years later live, catapulted them up into my top 5.
And we're going to talk about a few honorable mentions. One song that had that impact for me, and we talked about this on our Foo Fighters episode we did, is I love the B-side song and Normal.
Yeah.
The first time I heard that song, I was like, man, that's one of the best songs I've ever heard. And to this day, it's my favorite Foo Fighters song. Yeah. So I would say it kind of had that same impact, and it would definitely make my honorable mentions. I thought about putting it on the list.
Yeah.
So what do you have in the way of honorable mentions?
I've got one. There was a group called Inner Party System. Earlier incarnation of my day job, I was actually listening to a lot of terrestrial radio, and just trying to find new songs and pick them up. And this one came on, and I was just amazed. The song is called "Don't Stop," and it's a very keyboard heavy song. It was like Nine Inch Nails meets Imagine Dragons kind of thing.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it's just one of those songs that just rips the skin of your face off.
Yeah, very cool. Another one for me, and I know that a lot of times we leave our favorite artists off lists like this.
Yeah.
When I heard "Welcome to the Machine," the first time, it blew me away.
Oh, wow.
I just saw the sounds and just how much depth it had.
Yeah.
Just totally kicked my ass. And usually when I'm blown away by a song like that right away, I usually continue to love it just as much.
Yeah.
Red Rain by Peter Gabriel would be another one that just blew my ever-loving mind.
Yeah, that would be an honorable mention for me.
Yeah, that song?
Yeah, totally.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And everything by Pink Floyd, I mean, it all blew me away.
Yeah.
Completely as a whole. So it's like I couldn't really include it on the list because that's makes the list too long.
And same with me with Rush, as I I kind of got into Rush in the 80s, and of course I went backwards and bought Hemispheres and all that stuff, Permanent Waves, and those records, when I would sit down and live with them for a while, I'd be like, holy crap, how did they do this?
Right.
I mean, I would listen to them for months back then.
Yeah.
And so
same with me with Pink.
Yeah. So all right, well, cool, man. I loved your choices.
I liked yours too. Yeah.
Thank you.
This was fun.
Awesome.
I love these fun little episodes like this.
Me too.
All right, well, let's play some trivia.
Let's do it.
All right, it's the Name That Tune DVD time again.
Excellent.
80s edition. And what we do here is we call up the Name That Group section. Without any audio, we have to name the group.
And we've been missing some lately.
We have, yeah. Some of them have been kind of tough, been a little more obscure, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So let's
see what we have this time.
Let's try out number 1. Here we go.
I know this.
Yeah, I do too.
Quarter Flash.
Yeah, that's Quarter Flash. Yeah.
That's Quarter Flash, yep.
Yeah.
Harden My Heart.
There you go. I didn't see that video that much back then, but I didn't remember seeing it.
It was very cheap.
Yeah.
And what was funny is I love the band, and I really like the song "Take Me to Heart." That's one of my favorite songs of the '80s.
Great song.
And that video is really cool.
Yeah.
I guess they had a little more money by the time they did that one, but great band.
Yeah.
Well,
cool.
Worth checking out, and still together to this day.
Yeah. All right, next one. Here we go.
All right, song number 2. Kool and the Gang, Celebration.
Yep, that's what that is.
One of my favorite bands of all time.
They're so good. Yeah, I think we're going to try to do an episode about them coming up soon. Yeah.
I absolutely adore them.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
I saw them live before. They opened for Van Halen.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't see that concert. But that would have been fun.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
All right,
round 3.
Yep, final round.
Maybe we'll go 3 for 3. It's been a while since we've done that.
Maybe so. I recognize that guitar. I know this.
Can't see his face for all the hair.
All right.
Is that Delamitri again? That's Delamitri.
Is that Delamitri?
That's Delamitri. Yep.
Wow. I didn't realize they put out as much in the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, and once again, they were kind of discovered by, Bono, or he took a big liking to him, took him on tour and stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
And in the 80s, if you had Bono on your side, you could take over the world.
No kidding.
Which Delamitri's an underrated band. You should definitely check out. I love the album that had Roll to Me. That whole album is just fantastic.
Yeah, that's
so
a great
good.
album. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Okay, well, that does it. We'll see you again on the next episode.
Catch you then.